There's a spring in the mountain and it flows down to the town.
From NPR Music and West Virginia Public Broadcasting, with support provided by Bailey & Glasser and by Wild, Wonderful West Virginia, welcome to another Mountain Stage with your host, Larry Gross.
There's a song in my heart, just a simple little tune, but the rhythm and the melody won't leave me alone. Around the world it's just a simple song. This world is turning around a simple song. Well, thank you so much, and welcome to Mountain Stage, live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. But we are not in West Virginia today. For the first time, we're doing a show from the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thanks to our friends at YEP Radio and the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. And we have a perfect show to celebrate the occasion. During our next hour, we're going to be hearing from two of the world's great artists, Billy Bragg and Joe Henry, have a new record. They're going to come out and sing some songs from that one. Also during our next hour, another man that I know is talented. He's been on the Mountain Stage before. He just has a new record out too. Mr. Robert Ellis is here, and he's brought a friend with him. And from over in Scotland, two Scotsmen and an Englishman who call themselves LAU are going to be here, and I think you're going to love their sound. It's a combination of old and new, traditional folk and new sounds to go with it. And another old and new mix, a young woman originally from Canada, but she just got through graduating from Davis and Elkins College down in Elkins, West Virginia, where she was studying folk music, and she already knew it. So she's got a new record out there. Her name is Kaia Cater. She'll be out during this hour. But we are always pleased and delighted and excited when we can introduce our next act, the man who's going to start the show off right. He's been going for quite a few years. Came to see us for the first time in 1989, but he started singing back in the 70s, singing and songwriting. I know you're familiar with some of the songs he's written, and most likely, if you know anything about acoustic music at all, you have heard him before. His last CD was called Still on the Levee, and there's also a tribute album, a tribute to him out there right now. Please welcome back to the Mountain Stage, Mr. Chris Smither.
All right. Well, you sound great. It's just hard not to do. My thinking is the measure of how much I need a clue. I'm still flying blind, hoping I might find a way to stop my thinking and open up my mind. I don't see too clearly, I wish you'd show me how. Seeing is believing, I believe I need it now. It comes as no surprise, I can't analyze my usual refusal to open up my eyes. Boy, my feelings hurt me plenty, not feeling hurts me more. Feelings got me kneeling down, wounded to the core. Not feelings got its charms, but you find out who it harms when your lover soon discovers you can't open up your arms. It's like being in a prison, you lock yourself inside. Limited perspective, even with eyes open wide. but I can't walk no more through scenes I've seen before. Come to me, bring a key, open up the door. It's just love, it's a puzzle, of that there is no doubt. You can't do nothing with it, you sure can't do without. Can't learn your part, you don't know where to start till you quit all your questions and open up your heart. One small suggestion, quit your questions, just open up your heart. Yeah. Thank you, folks. That's it. Well, here's one for you that, for years I've been playing this song and I would announce it as being a song I wrote for my father. And I realized suddenly that I didn't really write it for him. It's about him. But I wrote it really for anybody that has a sneaking suspicion that they might have disappointed their parents. Nobody here, I'm sure. It's a terrible thing, I was talking to a shrink once. I was just trying to help him get his life back together. So he started asking me questions about, how I grew up. And he says, well, what about your parents? He says, what were their hopes for you or their aspirations, for your life? And I said, well, they were never specific about it. I just always had the impression that they just wanted me to be happy. And he looks at me and he says, ain't that a bitch? And I must have looked puzzled because he went on. He says, nobody gets through life without periods where they're totally miserable. And not only do you have to live through the misery, but you have to realize you're disappointing your parents at the same time. I never quite thought about it that way. So anyway, here's this little thing. This is called Father's Day. He'll find his way, but you know what they say, he's getting on. Can't stay past noon, he'll check out soon, he won't be long. He moves slow, he don't care, he says time's slow too. But it gets you there. There's what we'll call it when we won't recall just what we're headed for. The days don't fade, they just come crashing down. It's the thoughts that fade, they don't make a sound. It's the lonesome, not the quiet, that leads us to deny it till we're down. Before you go, how about you let me know what's going on. Can't we just see what's become of me before you're gone? I ain't lost no more, but I'm still not found. Still afraid I found a way to let you down. Still wondering what I'm missing. Always listening, I'm always hanging around. Small time left to make that small talk right. And it takes so long to say more than good night. Those last lines are the toughest. Last one out, please shut out the light. Well, it's not okay, no matter what you say, but thanks a lot. I'll take it for today, it'll always be that way, it's what we got. Can't fix it now, but maybe it was never broken. And if it was, the fixes would be nothing but the tokens for what we thought for years, the silent fears, they were never ever spoken. But I took all you gave or ever wanted to. Ain't I done good? I needed that from you. And all I got to say is, by the way, you done good too. Thank you. You take a look inside, I got nothing left to hide. Take me as I am, not what I wanna be. Why we'll never know, we passed that long ago. Is and was is all we ever gonna be. He's almost shaved down by the river, feels a breath that makes him shiver, takes a breath and makes a dive alone. But the dead don't get no vacation. Down in that subway station, the only break they take is to the bone. Just waiting on a train to take them home. Just waiting on a train to take them home. I don't think I see anything for me in visions of the past or the ever after. Now is what can be, all the rest is wait and see. Those prophets never hear that cosmic laughter. Boy, but gypsies and their wagons rolling never hear those death bells tolling, never take no notice of the tone. Yeah, but I do, and my pulse beats quicker, scornful laughs and knowing snickers stop my heart and sink it like a stone. And I'm waiting on a train to take me home. Just waiting on a train, yeah, to take me home. Oh, this ain't what it seems. It's not the stuff of dreams. Nothing is as clear as this confusion. That's somewhat welcome news, as there is no way to lose, because what isn't real is genuine illusion. Now it's all about that graveyard dancing. Some sit still, some still prancing. Some get between them in a zone where there's nothing left to give them cover, but they can't even see each other. They just step and stumble on their own. They're waiting on a train to take them home. Yeah, they're waiting on a train. I'm waiting on a train. We are waiting on that train to take us home. That's the fastest I've ever done that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Up and down, never mind the level. If down were up, you couldn't get much higher. Digging deep, working with a shovel, trying to set your soul on fire. Trying to set your soul on fire. It don't burn. These easy things are hard to learn. No, it don't burn. These easy things are hard to learn. Night and day, always at the ready, working hard to find that easy line. What you say, we just try to keep it steady. Easy work is hard to find. Easy work is hard to find. Just keep your head low. What they don't see, they'll never know. Yeah, keep your head low. What they don't see, they'll never know. Truth or lies, it doesn't really matter. Hard to tell when the judge is blind. Heaven knows it's on one end of a ladder, but hell is just a state of mind. Hell is just a state of mind. But it's the hardest kind. Hard to take, I don't mind. Yes, it's the hardest kind. Hard to take, I don't mind. I mind my brain, boy, it's real enough to shatter. Behind my eyes, up between my ears. But I think of mind, it's the ruler of the matter, and it's nothing but the whining of the gears. Nothing but the whining of the gears. It just seems so real. It's nothing but the spinning of the wheel. You know it seems so real, and it's nothing but the spinning of the wheel. All right, folks. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for listening. We got a great show coming up, and I can't wait to. So that's the nice thing about going first. You get to relax. So I'll finish up with this. This is called Leave the Light On. If I were young again, I'd pay attention to that little known dimension, the taste of endless time. It's just like water, and it runs right through our fingers. The flavor of it lingers like a rich red wine. In those days we were single, and we lived them one by one. Now we hardly see them, they don't walk, they run. But I got plenty left I've set my sight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. I have never seen my life in such a hurry, but if I stop to worry, I get left behind. It's just a party, but you don't get invitations, and there's just one destination, you better be on time. For years we rhymed in couplets, and we sang them 2 by 2. Now we hardly rhyme at all, but here's a few. And if they hurt, there's bullets left to bite on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. That drummer in my head needs inspiration. There's a lack of syncopation, and it holds me to a line. It's so hard to see these cages that we think in. By stages we just sink into a slow decline. For years we lived in waltz time, danced it 3 by 3. Now it's hard to dance, but if you stick with me, we got what we need to spend the night on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. Yeah, these races that we've run were not for glory, no moral to the story. We run for peace of mind, but the race we're running now is never ending. Space and time are bending, and there's no finish line. I will live to be 100. I was born in 44, 28 to go, but I ain't keeping score. I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home soon. 'Cause I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home soon.
Chris Smither right there. His latest is still on the levee, a 50-year retrospective, 2 CDs. And then there's that tribute album to Chris Smither on Signature Sounds, where folks like Josh Ritter and Bonnie Raitt and Loudon Wainwright III, Dave Alvin, Peter Case, Tim O'Brien, Patty Larkin, and others do Chris Smither songs. And it's perfect. He's a perfect man to do a tribute to because he has been around and done it all well, and just keeps getting better. If you're a fan, watch out. And late in 2017, he has a new record that's going to be coming out. He's working on it now. Mr. Chris Smither, his 14th time on the mountain stage. And now it's time to turn the stage over to the Mountain Stage Band and Julie Adams. The man that's in charge of the Mountain Stage Band, the leader, is up there in the hat with the acoustic guitar, Ron Soule. And down in front of him is Ryan Kennedy on the electric guitar. Michael Lipton's our other lead guitar player. Bob Thompson is over on the piano. Ahmed Solomon is our drummer. Steve Hill is our bass player. And Julie has chosen a song by a wonderful singer and songwriter. I'm sure you know her, Anais Mitchell. It's called Why Do We Build the Wall? Say hello to Julie Adams.
Children, my children, why do we build the wall? Why do we build the wall? We build the wall to keep us free. That's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. How does the wall keep us free? My children, how does the wall keep us free? How does the wall keep us free? The wall keeps out the enemy, and we build the wall to keep us free. That's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. And who do we call the enemy? My children, who do we call the enemy? Who do we call the enemy? The enemy is poverty, and the wall keeps out the enemy. And we build the wall to keep us free. That's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. Because we have and they have not. My children, because they want what we have got. Because we have and they have not. Because they want what we have got. The enemy is poverty, and the wall keeps out the enemy. And we build the wall to keep us free. That's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. they should want. My children, what do we have that they should want? What do we have that they should want? We have a wall to work upon. We have work and they have none, and our work is never done. My children, and the war is never won. The enemy is poverty, and the wall keeps out the enemy. And we build the wall to keep us free. That's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. We build the wall to keep us free.
Julie Adams, Mountain Stage Band, the Aeneas Mitchell song, Why Do We Build the Wall? You're listening to Mountain Stage live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. Major funding for Mountain Stage is provided by Bailey and Glasser, LLP, a nationwide law firm born in West Virginia with offices in Charleston, Philadelphia, Morgantown, D.C., Boston, Alabama, and Delaware. Details at baileyglasser.com. And by Wild, Wonderful West Virginia, celebrating the diversity of live music in the Mountain State, from newgrass to indie pop at outdoor festivals or in coffee houses. Your next mountain experience begins with the new Go2WV mobile app, available for iOS and Android on iTunes and Google Play. Additional support is provided by the Charleston, West Virginia Convention and Visitors Bureau, showing the world why Charleston is hip, historic, and almost heaven. Your adventure starts online at charlestonwv.com. This is Mountain Stage on NPR. If you have questions or suggestions for us, we'd love to hear from you. Our email address is larry@mountainstage.org. You can also connect with us on Facebook, peek behind the scenes on our Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. And all of these links are at the website, mountainstage.org. I'm very excited to introduce our next guests. They have not been with us on the Mountain Stage before, even though they've been together for a little while now. Back in the late 80s, Mountain Stage was one of the few, if not the only, live performance show that started mixing traditional music, acoustic music, with alt music. And these guys do a little bit of that themselves. They start out with traditional Scottish and British sounding original tunes, but they've added some special sounds with them to actually spread out and make them deeper even. Chris Drever and Martin Green and Aidan O'Rourke play the guitar, Chris does, and Martin plays the accordion. Today he's going to play that, and Aidan the fiddle, but Martin also plays a little thing that he invented over there called the morag. You'll hear what it sounds like in just a moment. Their latest record is really a beautiful sounding record that casts quite a spell. It's called The Bell That Never Rang. Please welcome for the first time to the Mountain Stage, LAU.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here. This is the last day of our American tour, we're sad to say. So thank you very much for accommodating us. People always clap the loudest when we say we're going home. It's an interesting thing. That was a tune called Torsa. Torsa is a very small island off the west coast of Scotland. Anyone ever been to Scotland? Very good. So the west coast, as you know, is very much like your California. A lot of surfing, a lot of loud shirts. Aidan is from the west coast. You can see it. He's
It's balmy. In some ways.
We're going to continue with a song by the late, great LAU Waterston. This is called Midnight Feast.
I never thought life would be easy. I was lately falling apart. Then you came and then you made me lean that much harder on my heart. Aren't you just ravenous for a midnight feast? Oh, drilling moon is shining down on us at the end of the street. I'm damned if I do, my love, damned if I don't, my sweet. There I declare, this morning love turned evening deep. Well, we went down the road, we got soaked in moonlight, hedged in roses on either side, and all that was in our ears was the sound of the ocean, and in the distance was an indigo sky. Aren't you just ravenous for a midnight feast? Oh, drilling moon is shining down on us at the end of the street. I'm damned if I do, my love, damned if I don't, my sweet. Dare I declare, this morning love turned evening deep. So come away with me, or leave me, come nearer to me, or go away. Just the sound of your breathing, a feeling worth feeling, come a summer's evening at the break of day. Aren't you just ravenous for a midnight feast? Oh, drilling moon is shining down on us at the end of the street. I'm damned if I do, my love, damned if I don't, my sweet. Dare I declare, this morning love turned evening deep. I'm damned if I do, my love, damned if I don't, my sweet. Dare I declare, this morning love turned evening deep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for having us here. We've been in the family that is this radio show now for about 3 hours, and I have to say it's one of the most remarkable radio shows anywhere in the universe. So keep supporting it. It's a brilliant thing. Take care, stay positive, don't get too suspicious about your other humans. We'll LAU. See you later. Bye-bye.
Martin, Chris, and Aiden, LAU, L-A-U, capital L, capital A, capital U, LAU. Yeah, 2 Scotsmen and an Englishman. The latest is on Reveal Records, and it's a fine, fine album. You buy this album, you won't be disappointed if you like that. It's called The Bell That Never Rang. But of course, if you get a chance when they come back to the States to see them live, then you want to do that because really we just gave you a little taste right here, and it's something to see as well as hear. LAU, L-A-U. Remember, if you missed part of this mountain stage or any mountain stage, you want to hear something again, visit the podcast section of mountainstage.org. We keep shows for about 2 to 3 years back there. Each podcast will include songs we don't have time to fit on the radio, as well as a complete finale song. And if you do that, we would ask you to take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to end this hour with a young woman. I mentioned it first. She's from up in Quebec, Canada, originally. But she learned folk music as a young girl and grew up Canadian folk music, although she has also history in the African Caribbean world. But she went to a program at Davis and Elkins College in West Virginia down in Elkins and graduated with a degree in Appalachian folk music. They have a new program down there. That's where we heard about her, and then we heard her latest album, which is called 9-Pin, which has some old tunes, but a lot of tunes that she wrote. And she's brought a friend with her to play the bass. She's also brought a friend who's going to actually do a little dancing while she sings. That's right, a little dancing on the radio. But it works extremely well. Please welcome, for the first time to the mountain stage, Kaia Cater.
This is a tune called Saint Elizabeth.
Rise up and fall, Saint Elizabeth. I am king to your call in the mist. I am slave to your land, and I will die by your hand, Elizabeth. The church, it did call me Elizabeth to sing in salvation and joy, but the carriage is stained, I'm broken and plain, Elizabeth. Take me up to your glory, Elizabeth, on white and screeching wheels. For the serpent has died, and I remain but from beneath, with black and frozen feet, white roses all around, and covered on the I'm the devil's disciple, Elizabeth, down, down in the depths of below. Tie me up on your cross, take me into your thoughts, Elizabeth. And let the earth fall around us, Elizabeth. Let it sink to the valley below. Let them come and tear us free, we're bound eternally, Elizabeth. So stand with me now, St. Elizabeth, away from this mountain town. Take me into your breast, I'm broken and blessed, Elizabeth. Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and rotten teeth, white roses all around, and covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and frozen feet, white roses all around, and covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and white teeth, white roses all around, and covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and frozen feet, white roses all around, and covered on the ground, on the ground. Da 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 da. Well, I am Canadian, it's true. One clap. Excellent. But West Virginia is my second home. I recently graduated from Davis and Elkins College in Elkins, West Virginia. And I spent some of the best years of my life there, learning tunes and ballads, and met some of the kindest people. And so a lot of that is reflected on the record. There are a lot of songs that I write, but also many traditional ones. And this one was one of my favorites from my time at D&E. It's called Little Pink, and it's a traditional tune that comes from Mingo County, West Virginia. And Jerry Milnes is a very well-known folklorist at the Augusta Heritage Center, and he's the one that passed this one to me. He learned it from a guy named William May. Come on, little pink, tell me, what do you think? You're long time making up your mind. I truly understand that you love another man. Your heart will no longer be mine. Remember the falls that you told me, little pink. We sat on the hillside to rest, tried to make me believe all them lies that you told. When the sun went down in the west, said I'll never marry no like man, or a man just for esteem. I'm gonna marry some handsome little man who rose his wheels by steam. 15 cents and that old morphine gonna take me to my lonesome grave. And no, I'll never listen to what another man say. If his eyes be blue or brown, unless he's on some scaffold to be hung, say, won't you take me down? Well, the last time I saw my pretty little pink, she was standing in the old hall door, ring in her hands and a crying soul, calling, come back, honey, please don't go. Now come on, little pink, tell me, what do you think? You're a long time making up your mind. I used to think you's the prettiest little thing that ever the sun shone on. Thank you. Well, when I was in Canada, I played a lot of banjo, and I always admired dancing, percussive dance, but I had 2 left feet, and I got kicked out of several dance classes when I was young, and so my self-esteem about dance was quite low. And when I got invited to be in the Appalachian Studies program at D&E, they also had a magnificent percussive dance team who were actually on the previous mountain stage, if you'd like to hear them. And so the dance teacher at the school sort of cornered me in the cafeteria, and she said, "Hey, you're the new banjo player, right?" And I said, with extreme trepidation, "Yes." And she said, "Have you ever done any flat-footing or clogging?" And with extreme trepidation, I said, "No." And so she made it so that I signed up for her class. She just wouldn't take no for an answer. And so while I was at D&E, I met a person who is now one of my very best friends and a great collaborator. I'd like to invite to the stage Catherine Maynor. Harlem's little blackbird on a swing. Harlem's little blackbird on a swing. Take me up to your glory. Take me up to your glory. Harlem's little blackbird in the sky. Harlem's little blackbird in the sky. Oh, fly us to good old Shanghai. Oh, fly us to good old Shanghai. Harlem's little blackbird on the coast. Harlem's little blackbird on the coast. post. Harlem's little blackbird on the hill. Harlem's little blackbird on the hill. Won't you give me a thrill? Won't you give me a thrill? Harlem's little blackbird in July. Harlem's little blackbird in July. Oh, where do you go when you fly? Oh, where do you go when you fly? Harlem's little blackbird on the waves. Harlem's little blackbird on the waves. Stray far from the grave. Stray far from the grave. Harlem's little blackbird on a swing. Harlem's little blackbird on a swing. Oh, take me to the newborn spring on black and velvet wings. Oh, take me to the newborn spring on black and velvet wings.
Kevin Maynard. Thank you so much.
So one of my very, very favorite recordings of John Hartford ever is John Hartford on Mountain Stage. And he's one of my idols. Does anybody know the song In Tall Buildings? Well, I was listening to a lot of John Hartford as I was going back and forth in college from West Virginia and Toronto. And last year was my senior year of college, and I decided during my senior year of college, why not record a full-length album too? Because that's the greatest idea that I could ever have, and nothing went wrong, and nothing was stressful at all. But anyway, I was because I was recording, I would go home a lot in Toronto, where I made the record 9-pin. And I was listening to a lot of John Hartford, and in Elkins, it bumps up right next to a national forest, and so it's gorgeous. And so I would go from rural to city to downtown Toronto, where I live. And In Tall Buildings, a song just reminded me of the notion of growing up and moving from the country to the city to do a job. And so I started thinking about natural and artificial environments and how we relate to each other in them. And so I wrote this song. It's called Paradise Fell.
Paradise fell and the tenements grew, swept my soul across the heavens. and the tenements grew, the tenements grew. Paradise fell and the tenements grew, the tenements grew. Well, I'm a real live wire, I keep my suffering slow. You're a child of fire and the Holy Ghost, but we keep our hand close and we play it on out, we let it play on out. In the mother's breast and the father's bone, in that city of gold with revelations unknown, parts and temperaments gray. You could live it away, you could live it away. Then needle rats hide on the bruised up tracks like a bitter train along the Savior's back. We repented in quiet, silence in the song, silence in the song. Oh, and paradise fell and the tenements grew, swept my soul across the avenue. Paradise fell and the tenements grew, the tenements grew. Paradise fell and the tenements grew, the tenements grew. I'll dip you low and far to the depths of time, skin the waves along the west coastline till you come up for air. Glory everywhere, glory everywhere. So who's your maker now? Who's your maker now? The Sultan King or the Velvet South? Just keep on driving that wheel. Count your steps out loud, count your steps out loud. Weight of the withering vine in this concrete boat. Close your eyes and get your coat. Get you an honest job at Peter's Gates or a cigarette shop. Paradise fell and the tenements grew, swept my soul across the avenue. Paradise fell and the tenements grew, the tenements grew. Paradise fell and the tenements grew, the tenements grew.
Kaia Cater right there, along with Andrew Ryan on the bass and Catherine Maynor, the Dancing Shoes. Mountain Stage Band there at the end, too. The new record is called Nine Pin, and her name is Kaia Cater. I'd like to say thanks to the folks at WYEP and the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust for bringing us up here to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the beautiful Byam Theater, which was made in 1903, first called the Gaiety, and then the Fulton, and then the Byam. This is a beautiful, beautiful spot, and we're glad to be here. Thanks to you listening there on WAER, Syracuse, New York, and WQLN, Erie, Pennsylvania. And we hope that you'll be listening next time when we do a show from Davis and Elkins College in Elkins, featuring Dan Tominski and Ronnie Bowman Sarah Watkins, Eric Johnson, Mountain Hart, and Ellis Davis. You're listening to Mountain Stage live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. Mountain Stage is supported in part by this station and by West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Hotel accommodations for Mountain Stage guests are provided by the Charleston Marriott Town Center Hotel, centrally located for the business and pleasure traveler in downtown Charleston's retail district. This is Mountain Stage on NPR. Well, thank you so much. Welcome to the second hour of Mountain Stage. If you're just tuning in, we are grateful that you've done that, and we think you will be happy that you've done that. Coming up a little bit later on during this hour, I'm going to bring in our good friends Billy Bragg and Joe Henry. But we're going to open the hour with a man who was with us once before and really impressed us. He's impressed a lot of people over the last few years. He's got a new CD on New West Records right now that's self-titled. Sometimes you know people really think well about their album when they decide to call it after themselves for the first time. And Robert has written some new songs. It's a little different than his last one, but basically we found out when he was here last, he's a great guitar player, he's a fine singer. His writing is very interesting, it's very entertaining, and very deep, and I can see now that I read the bio, and it says he was influenced a lot by Paul Simon, John Prine, and Randy Newman. You can hear a little bit of that influence. Please welcome back to the Mountain Stage, Mr. Robert Ellis.
Hey, guys. Supposed to do just drive around the fairgrounds another time or two. Where am I gonna go when the girl behind the counter at the coffee shop gets tired of me hanging around with nothing left to say, trying to get away? I'm bored out of my mind, and I've changed all the light bulbs and had this conversation about 3 million times or more. Guess I'll walk around the grocery store again. Oh, this don't feel like living. It's just surviving. I ain't going nowhere. Whoa, I'm just driving. I know that you're upstairs, and I'm down here watching television, trying to make some sense out of the way it feels to be so close to you and feels so far away. Oh, I just wish you'd go to bed without the expectation that I'd come up there and say something to help you feel like things aren't such a mess. I'll just sweep the floor and clean the desk, put up the dishes and then fold some clothes, I guess. Oh, this don't feel like living. No, 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 it's just surviving. I ain't going nowhere. Whoa, I'm just driving. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's always nice to be reminded that people still listen to music in some places. Sometimes I wonder what all you guys are doing here. The rest of the world is looking at the internet right now. What are you doing here? This is the first song on that new record. This is called Perfect Strangers. Perfect strangers on a crowded city sidewalk buying hot dogs, standing awkwardly together, maybe talking about the weather, maybe talking about nothing much at all. Lonely people exchanging glances in the subway station's turnstile. Hey there, miss, I've got a question. Would you help me with directions? Could you tell me how to get from here to there? Perfect strangers, because everything looks better in low lighting. Perfect strangers, they don't know all of my heartbreaks, the wounds from every heartache I have hiding. It seems the less you know about a person makes it seem as though they might be perfect, and before you know, you've gone and fallen in love with a perfect stranger. The day I met you, I was sure I'd found the answer. So I promised you forever, and we tied ourselves together like some rogue three-legged racer on the loose. 5 years later, there is something in your touch so unfamiliar, and it seems so hard to recognize you, girl with those defeated eyes that used to dance like fireflies in a jar. Perfect strangers, manufacturing a thing that once came natural. Perfect strangers, moving further with each heartbeat in directions that may not meet up again. It seems the more you try to stay together, there's a force that pries you apart. How I wish that I had never fallen in love with a perfect stranger. Thank you. We've been on tour since May, and this is the last show. I get a week off after this. Thank you. We played last night in Goliad, Texas, and left the venue at 2, drove for 2 hours to Austin, got on a plane at 6:30, and then flew here to be with you guys. So we feel, thank you. That's all I wanted. Thank you. I just want to give you all a clear picture of what's happening up here in our heads and how we must feel. Anyway, this is all for a reason. This next song, I co-wrote this song with my friend Johnny Fritz, and it's about songwriting, and it's about the music business, and it's called The High Road. The high road is closed for repairs, and nobody cares about songs anymore. My enemies, they are passing me by, and I don't know that I could keep up anyway. The high road is wearing me down. It all comes from out of nowhere. I'm losing the hair on top of my head. I'm losing sight. I'm losing the fight to a flash in the pan, to a thief in the night. The high road is wearing me down. The stage is like a window to the kitchen from the dining room, and I'm sweating here underneath the lights. They'll serve me up, eat me alive, if I'm not what they had in mind. They'll send me back and scrape me off the plate. But I go out there every day, pretending it's the other way around. And I have got them eating from the palm of my hand. Thank you. Thanks. That's our hit. That's the song that changed everything. Okay, this next tune, this is called Elephant. And thank you, gosh. There is an elephant in the room, and we both know we're gonna have to talk about it soon. But we made space for him in the corner there, and we go on and act as if there isn't anybody there. We built this home, just you and I, and then we lock the door and hope nobody else comes by. The way I was raised, it pulls and tugs at me. Sometimes I'm blinded by emotions and I can't see. When we fell in love, you belonged to no one. Why would I chain or shackle you to my jealousy? Oh, the human heart, it's large beyond compare. Only a fool would be so cruel as not to share. I wanna see her shining bright, not locked up in some dark cage in the dead of night. Why can't I tell you the way I really feel? Like my dishonesty and my ego made a deal, that when we desire the touch of someone else, we just conspire to keep those feelings to ourselves. Why can't the rules be less defined? How can you call it art when you're sticking to a dotted line? Oh, my heart, it's torn in two. One half's on the road and the other remains with you. One half's on the road and the other remains with you. Grasp, and I do not own. This life is changing in impermanence alone, and we can adapt, or maybe we could divorce. We could jump ship, or we could easily change course. Why can't the rules be less defined? How can you call it art when you're sticking to a dotted line? Oh, my heart, it's torn in two. One half's on the road and the other remains with you. One half's on the road and the other remains with you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having us. This is always a pleasure. I love Mountain Stage. It's a beautiful thing. Please keep supporting it. This is called Maybe I'll Move to California. It was a long way to go from Louisiana to Laredo, with everything that they own boxed up in the back of a van. But she would have gone to the moon if that's what it took to follow him. It's funny what love makes you do. Standing alone, and there in the kitchen she's packing up plates again. Standing alone, she is remembering every fight with him. Thinking alone, what am I doing here in this ghost town? Now that he's gone, there isn't a reason for me to stick around. And she says, maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Which way to go when every road leads away from the things you wanted? Which way to go when every memory is built like a home that's haunted? Closing your eyes, dream of a place where things turn out the way you plan. Everything dies. Dream of a place where the living resides again. And she says, maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. Maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Thank you.
From Austin, Texas, Robert Ellis right there. along with Kelly Doyle on the guitar, Robert on the guitar, piano, and vocals, and writing the songs. And the new CD on New West is called Robert Ellis, and he just played you a handful of songs, and good for him. He's going to be able to go off the road for a few days. It isn't easy traveling around. A lot of people work hard to get to these jobs that never pay quite enough, but they love the music, and we're glad that you do too. Mr. Robert Ellis right there. It's time to, give him a hand. A couple of minutes, Billy Bragg and Joe Henry are going to come out and sing some songs from their new album of train songs. They made an album of train songs called Shine a Light, and our own pianist, Bob Thompson, took the lead from that and took the lead from the fact that we were in Pittsburgh here. So he took a man who grew up in Pittsburgh, went to high school here, wrote a very famous train song. Here's Bob Thompson with the Billy Strayhorn, Take the A Train, Bob Thompson. Bob Thompson, Billy Strayhorn. Take the A train right there. Get his music on colortones.com. You're listening to Mountain Stage live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. Major funding for Mountain Stage is provided by Bailey and Glasser, LLP, a nationwide law firm born in West Virginia with offices in Charleston, Philadelphia, Morgantown, D.C., Boston, Alabama, and Delaware. Details at baileyglasser.com. And by Wild, Wonderful West Virginia, celebrating the diversity of live music in the Mountain State, from newgrass to indie pop at outdoor festivals or in coffee houses. Your next mountain experience begins with the new Go to WV mobile app, available for iOS and Android on iTunes and Google Play. Additional support is provided by the Charleston, West Virginia Convention and Visitors Bureau, showing the world why Charleston is hip, historic, and almost heaven. Your adventure starts online at charlestonwv.com. This is Mountain Stage on NPR. We hope you'll take a look at our website, mountainstage.org. There you can find links to our podcast. You can also follow us on about every form of social media. And of course, we invite you to follow us to our next live show, whether it's here in Pittsburgh at the Byam Theater or in Charleston at our home. You can find out where we're going to be and get your tickets to come and be part of the audience on Mountain Stage. That's mountainstage.org. You can hear Mountain Stage guest performances, including songs not heard on the radio, at NPR Music. The online address there is npr.org/mountainstage. Well, there were a lot of us that were excited and delighted to hear that two great artists got together to make a record of train songs. Billy Bragg and Joe Henry are known both as for songwriting and for singing, and Joe, of course, one of the most finest and influential record producers in America, and Billy is a man who's never been afraid to put what he thinks into his songs. So much so that a few days ago he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Americana Association, the Spirit of Americana Free Speech Award, and we congratulate him on that. But these guys got on a train in Chicago, and they took the train to Los Angeles, and when it stopped, they went into the stations and other places and got out the microphones, got out their guitars, and played some songs about trains, some of which you're going to know and some of which maybe you didn't think of. But we're going to hear some of them right now. Please welcome back to the Mountain Stage, but for the first time together, Billy Bragg and Joe Henry.
Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride Railroad Bill, gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill was a mighty mean man. He shot the lantern out the brakeman's hand. I wanna ride Railroad Bill. Wanna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, Railroad Bill. He never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride Railroad Bill. Wanna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, he took my wife. If I'd have spoken, he'd have taken my life. I wanna ride Railroad Bill. Wanna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, Railroad Bill. He never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride Railroad Bill. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill coming down the hill, lighting cigars with a $10 bill. I wanna ride Railroad Bill. Wanna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, Railroad Bill. He never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride Railroad Bill. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. I'm gonna ride Railroad Bill. Wanna ride old Railroad Bill. Thank you. So we got on this train in Chicago, Illinois, and 3,000 miles later, 65 hours, we recorded 12 songs. And not always, the train in these songs is not always a train that people are riding on. Often in American music, the train is metaphorical. And it's about loss and freedom and hope and aspiration. Think about Folsom Prison. You know, it's not the being in prison that's hurting Johnny, it's hearing that whistle. That's when he hangs his head and cries. The train that reminds him of his freedom. And this song is also, the train is metaphorical. It talks about the piney woods and the dark American night, yeah. Little girl, don't you lie to me. Where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun never shines. You shiver when the cold wind blows. The longest train I ever saw went down that Georgia line. The engine passed at 6 o'clock. The cab went by at 9. In the pines where the sun never shines. You shiver when the cold wind blows. Little girl, what have I done to make you treat me so? You have caused me to weep, you caused me to moan, you caused me to leave my home. In the pines where the sun never shines,
You shiver when the cold wind blows. The longest train I ever saw was 19 coaches long, and the only girl that ever I loved is on that train and gone. Thank you very much.
The presiding genius on this album is Leadbelly,
He's always our patron saint.
whose repertoire contained a vast number of railroad songs, and this one we wanted to record, but not in his style. Leadbelly first heard this in 1934 in Cumming State Prison, where he was working with John Lomax, who was recording prison songs. And he heard this song, and immediately, he was a great song collector and a great song adapter, Leadbelly. He immediately adapted it to his own style, fixed it up with a monologue on the front, talked about it being a work song. But we wanted to sing it as it was originally sung that day in the prison in Arkansas as a call and response song. This is the Rock Island Line.
Oh, the Rock Island Line, mighty good road. Rock Island Line,
Road to
oh, that
ride.
Rock Island Line.
She's a mighty good road.
If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. Well, A, B, C, double X, Y, Z.
Cat's in the cupboard, but he can't see me.
Oh, the Rock Island Line, mighty good road. The Rock Island Line,
Road to ride.
oh, that Rock Island Line.
She's a mighty good road.
If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. Well, I may be right, I may be wrong.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Oh, the Rock Island Line, mighty good road. Oh, the Rock Island Line,
Road to ride.
oh, that Rock Island Line.
She's a mighty good road.
If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. Well, Jesus died to save our sin.
Glory to God, we're gonna see him again.
Oh, the Rock Island Line, mighty good road. The Rock Island Line,
Road to ride.
oh, that Rock Island Line.
She's a mighty good road.
If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. Well, the train left Memphis 9:30.
Rode in the Little Rock at 8:49.
Oh, the Rock Island Line, mighty good road. The Rock Island Line,
Road to ride.
oh, that Rock Island Line.
She's a mighty good road.
If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. If you wanna ride it, gotta ride it like you're flying. Get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island Line. Thank you very much. Thank you. This This next song is a song that Bill and I both know in relation to Woody Guthrie, and maybe our first bonding moment really is, we've been friends for close to 30 years now. We actually met in New York City kind of accidentally and started talking about Astro Weeks, and we're still talking about Astro Weeks, but it was Woody Guthrie that really connected our spirits. And Woody did not write this song, but it was known to be one of his favorites, and I think the melody is as haunted as the imagery is. Go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the towns drift slowly by. Can't you hear the steel rails humming? That's the hobo's lullaby. Don't you worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow come and go. When you die and go to heaven, you'll be safe from all that wind and snow. I know your clothes are torn and ragged, and your hair is turning gray. But when you die and go to heaven, you'll find peace and rest someday. Well, I know the police cause you trouble. They cause trouble everywhere. But when you've died and gone to heaven, you'll find no policemen there. So go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the towns drift slowly by. Can't you hear the steel rails humming? That's the hobo's lullaby. Can't you hear the steel rails humming? That's the hobo's lullaby.
So, when we made the album, we wanted to take people on a journey with us on the railroad. So we didn't just record our voices. We had two mics pointing outward to record the environment where we were. So you get trains going by, you get people getting on and off the train, grackles attacking us in Fort Worth, and it was whatever was there really, and some of the environments we sang in, they were everything from late at night in a sleeping car with padded walls to El Paso railway station, which is like a cathedral to the railway. It looks just amazing outside. Inside, it's a huge atrium, probably as much space in it as there is in this theatre. Built for thousands of passengers now. A passenger train comes every other day, and it's surprising if there's dozens of passengers getting on there. But having said that, for recording it was beautiful. It was like a church, and it just so happened that one of the songs that came up then was quite a churchy song, a song from the Carter family, written by Sarah Carter. This is Railroading on the Great Divide.
1915, I started roam out in the West, no money, no home. I went drifting along with the tide. I landed on the Great Divide, railroading on the Great Divide. Nothing around me but Rockies and sky. There you'll find me as years roll by, railroading on the Great Divide. Ask any old timer in old Cheyenne, railroading Wyoming, the best in the land. The long steel rail and the short cross tie that I laid across the Great Divide, railroading on the Great Divide. Nothing around me but Rockies and sky. There you'll find me as years roll by, railroading on the Great Divide. As I look out across the breeze, number 3 coming the fastest on wheels. Through old Laramie we watch her glide. She sails across the Great Divide, railroading on the Great Divide. Nothing around me but Rockies and sky. There you'll find me as years roll by, railroading on the Great Divide. Thank you.
This is a song that both Bill and I have loved most of our entire lives. And it was important to us because this in no way is a nostalgia project. It couldn't be. It wouldn't have interested either one of us to go into a recording studio and just record an album that says Joe and Bill like trains. But what we're trying to do is reclaim some of our cultural vocabulary, you know. When a song moves through a car, when a car moves through a song, it's just a car, you know. When a plane passes by, it's usually just a plane. But as soon as you conjure the railroad, it does become metaphoric and has a real poetic authority because we all, even people who have never ridden a passenger train, find that they have deep romantic feelings about what that might represent. And it was important that we did something in our repertoire that was from our own lifetime. And we hadn't planned to do this song. I don't think either one of us thought it was a train song. But we were sitting up on the train the very first night, coming out of St. Louis, and one of us started to play it simply because we loved it. And then we understood that the character speaking was speaking from a hobo jungle beside a rail line, pining for something lost possibility. And we knew it was fair game. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. It's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds, and the ink stains that are dried upon some line that keeps you on the back roads by the rivers of my memory and keeps you ever gentle on my mind. It's not clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that binds me, or something that somebody said because they thought we'd fit together walking. It's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk upon some railroad track and find that you're waiting on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Though the wheat fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us, and some other woman's crying to her mother 'cause she turned and I was gone, well, I still might run in silence. Tears of joy might stain my face, and the summer sun might burn me till I'm blind, but not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers flowing gentle on my mind. Well, I dip my cup of soup back from a gurgling, bubbling cauldron in some train yard. My beard a rough in the coal pile and a dirty hat pulled low across my face. Through cupped hands round a tin can, I pretend to hold you to my breast and find that you're waiting on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind.
And it's always nervous when you're playing on the for a radio show. You're thinking about what you're doing, but it's not nearly as nervous when you're looking over Joe's shoulder at the train waiting for the guy to shout all aboard, at which point we have to gather everything up and run like heck to make sure we don't get left behind, because if you get left behind after San Antonio, between San Antonio and Los Angeles, it's a train every other day, so you don't want to get left behind by the Texas Eagles. So
you don't want to be trapped in Texas, believe me.
We want to finish off with one of the great railroad songs, another one from Lead Belly's repertoire. This one concerns his time in Sugar Land prison in Texas. The The prison is on a bend in the Brazos River, and the train that comes out at 11 o'clock every night out of Houston would swing around that bend in the bottomlands of the Brazos River on its way to San Antonio, and the light would sweep across the prison, and if it flickered through the windows of your cell and shone onto you, then legend had it that you would be the next person to get parole. And that's what they believed. We're Billy Bragg and Joe Henry. Will be out in the foyer afterwards if you'd like to come and ask us any train-spotting questions. We're up for that. Thanks for having us. Thanks to Mountain Stage for inviting us here. We've really had a great time. Thank you.
Wake up early in the morning when the ding-dong ring. Go walking to the table, see the same damn thing, knife and fork upon the table, but ain't but nothing in a pan. Say anything about it, we'll get in trouble with the man. Shine a light on, shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me. Shine a light on, and it won't be long. Shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me. Yonder come Miss Rosie, how in the hell do you know? Oh, I know about her apron and the dress she wore, umbrella on her shoulder, a piece of paper in her hand. She's come to tell the governor, let loose my man. Shine a light on, shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. Shine a light on, and it won't be long. Shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. And if you ever go to Houston, whoa, you better walk right. Oh, you better not gamble. Oh, you better not fight, or the police they will arrest you, and they will carry you down. And the next thing you know is you're penitentiary bound. Shine a light on, shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. Shine a light on, and it won't be long. Shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. Whoa, 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 light on. Whoa, 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 light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. Shine a light on, and it won't be long. Shine a light on. Oh, let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me.
Thank you very much. It was very kind.
Thank you.
Billy Bragg, Joe Henry. And that new record full of train songs is called Shine a Light. We just heard the title song right there. It's a wonderful record. Recorded in train stations on their trip from Chicago to Los Angeles. A great idea. And they told you why. They'll be touring the U.S., the UK, and Australia. So if you want to hear the whole CD, that was 7 of the tunes, but if you want to hear the whole thing, then you're going to have to go and see them live. Our thanks to them, Billy Bragg and Joe Henry, and my thanks to them for recording these songs. You know, kids need to hear these songs, and they don't always know them anymore. So I'm glad that the folks like these guys, who are like happening guys, record some songs that are a big part of history. Now, you can make some albums and make them like a quaint thing, but these guys brought these songs alive, which are really, really a big part of our culture. Our thanks to Billy Bragg and Joe Henry. Our thanks to Robert Ellis. Our thanks to Kaia Cater and LAU and Chris Smither. Our thanks to WYEP and the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, and all of you folks here in the Byam Theater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's been a real pleasure to come up here. And of course, as always, special thanks to you listening there on the radio. If you were not listening there would be no Mountain Stage, and we are grateful that you tuned in. We hope you'll do the same thing next week. We're going to be coming to you from Elkins, West Virginia, with the great bluegrass from Dan Tominski and Ronnie Bowman and Mountain Heart. Sarah Watkins will be on the show, guitar man Eric Johnson, and newcomer Ellis Davis. Mountain Stage is produced by Larry Gross and Adam Harris. Associate producers are Jeff Shirley and Vasily Askouras. Assistant producers Joni Deutsch. Production managers Paul Flaherty. We're engineered by Francis Fisher, Richie Collins, Jim Raines, and Patrick Stevens. Our web producer is Josh Saul. We have production assistants from Michael Lipton, Joey Ansel, Mary Lee, Lance Schrader, Chris Mead, and Woogie. Photographic services are provided by Brian Blauser. Promotions coordinated by Michael Lipton, Adam Harris, Josh Saul, and Music in Motion Promotions. Lodging is provided by the Marriott Town Center Hotel, centrally located for the business and pleasure traveler in downtown Charleston. Why don't you go out and hear some live music wherever you are, just as soon as you can. You've been listening to Mountain Stage, live performance radio. From the Mountain State of West Virginia, Billy Bragg is going to start us off here.
I was a curly-headed baby. My daddy sat me down upon his knee, saying, son, you go to school and learn your letter. Don't become no dusty miner boy like me. I was born and raised in the mouth of the Hazard Holler. The coal cars roaring and rumbling past my door. Now they stand in a rusty old empty, 'cause the L&N don't stop here anymore.
Chris Smither going to sing it.
I used to think my daddy was a black man. There was scrip enough just to buy the company store. Yeah, but now he goes downtown with empty pockets, and his face is just as white as the February snow. I was born and raised in the mouth of the Hazard Holler. The coal cars rolled and rumbling past my door. Now they stand in a rusty row empty, 'cause the L&N don't stop here anymore.
Michael Lipton on the guitar. Ryan Kennedy. Aiden on the fiddle now. See the accordion, Mark. Kaia's going to sing a verse now.
Never thought I'd live to love the cold nights. Never thought I'd pray to hear those tipples roar. But how I wish the grass would change to my name, and greenbacks fill my pockets up once more.
Born and raised in the mouth of a hazard hollow. The coal cars roaring and rumbling past my door. Now they stand in a rusty broken tree. Just yelling in. Don't stop here anymore.
Chris on the guitar. With the banjo, Kaia. Bob Thompson on the piano. Robert Ellis now. Joe Henry gonna sing a last verse for me.
Last night I dreamed I went down to the office to draw my paycheck like I'd done before. But those kudzu vines were covering up the doorway. There was grease and grass growing right up through the floor. Born and raised in the mouth of the hazard holler. Coal cars rolling and rumbling past my door. Now they stand in a rusty rolling tree. Just yelling. Don't stop here anymore.
Support for Mountain Stage is provided by Bailey & Glasser, LLP, and by Wild, Wonderful West Virginia. Mountain Stage is a production of West Virginia Public Broadcasting. This is NPR.